Welcome to More Details, Please, with your hosts, Emmanuel and Angela Williams, where we dive deeper into conversations with visionary entrepreneurs to discover what it takes to turn passion into purpose. Listen to real-world stories from self-starters and trailblazers, and discover strategies and innovations shaping a greener future. Whether you are a seasoned business person or just starting out, let this be your go-to resource for inspiration and actionable tips for success. Join us now as we create a brighter, greener future together.
Hello, and welcome to our latest episode of More Details, Please. I'm Angela.
And Emmanuel Williams.
We are serial entrepreneurs at heart, and we're excited to connect with like-minded people like you. So as we continue the conversation of turning your passion into purpose, our focus for this season is all about time.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here once again, to be able to share our nuggets of wisdom based on our 20 plus years of entrepreneurship with our listening audience. And our theme is entrepreneurs turning their passion into purpose. And I believe that that is such an important way to heal the planet, is for people to turn their passions into purpose. And passion is something that you love doing, you enjoy doing, something that makes you feel good. And I think it's really important that we all find something that we have a passion for. And purpose is utilizing that skill set or utilizing that talent and your gift to serve a greater good that's bigger than yourself. And so when you are able to find something that you enjoy and help other people along the way, trust me, you are almost there in terms of your purpose in life. So we're going to talk about these things. We're going to have some fun. We're going to share nuggets of wisdom. And we thank our listening audience for joining us.
So let's not waste a minute getting started. So how many of you have had a great idea, a dream, or a business plan, but you just keep putting it off? You tell yourself, I'll do it next week. I need more time. Or the classic, I'm just not ready yet. And then as years pass, 5, 10, 20 years pass, well, today, we're here to tell you that there is no perfect time. The best time is now. So we're going to talk about some of the reasons why you put it off, like fear.
Well, let's kind of back up a little bit and let's talk about entrepreneurs. And I want to kind of step outside the box of what society says what the entrepreneur is. And society tells us that entrepreneurship is somebody who go and have a business or buy a business and generate money and take care of themselves, and let their business grow. And when their business earn a certain amount of money, then we call that success. But I want to step outside of that a little bit, and I want to open up the door and open up the minds and hearts of people who are listening and looking at entrepreneurship in that particular way. We're all entrepreneurs. Even when you have a job, you have your talents and you have a skill set, you go on an interview, you pitch your talents or your gifts or whatever it is that you have to offer, and you go and you make money. Now, in your household, money goes out because you got bills you got to pay, but money comes in because you have to go out and work and use your skill set and bring money in. That's really what entrepreneurship is. So anytime you realize that, then you start taking steps in terms of what is it that I need to do to develop myself as an individual? Do I need to practice on my money spending skills? Do I have to make sure I get my credit in order? Do I have to make sure I have to practice my pitch? Do I have to make sure I have to practice balancing my budget? All of those things are really a part of entrepreneurship. And those of us who says that we want to go into entrepreneurship, start with that. Start with the basics. And I guarantee you, you will start the road of a successful entrepreneur.
So let's get real. The manana mindset or the habit, it can affect us all. And it's often a hard habit to break, putting things off until tomorrow when we could do them today. What are some of the reasons behind this?
Well, I think what people need to realize is, first of all, why are you procrastinating? And what is it that is causing you to put things off? And when you really look deeper, it's really the stories that you're telling yourself, the stories in your head that you're telling yourself. And 9 times out of 10, if the stories in your head that you're telling yourself is rooted in fear and doubt, when you really look at it, that is what's preventing you from taking steps. And then you have to go a little bit deeper than that, and you have to say, well, what am I afraid of? You know, what is it? How did these stories come about? Why am I developing these negative stories that is preventing myself from taking that next step? And where did they come from? Well, a lot of times it comes from childhood. It can come from family. It can come from experiences that you have. And so we're kind of giving you the secret sauce to our success, because success is not a destination. Success is a journey of you personally evolving. And then things starts to happen from there.
So it could be fear of failure or fear of looking foolish or fear of not being good enough.
Absolutely. All of those things is can create a story. It could be, well, you know, my brother was trying to teach me how to ride a bike and I fell and I hurt my knee and I was crying and they was laughing at me. And those internal experiences, those pains, those fears, those things that we relive over and over again becomes the barriers that blocks us from reaching our full potential.
One of those other excuses, one that I hear often is, but I don't have time. I don't have money and I don't know how. But guess what? Every successful person started before they were ready. So, hey, how about the no more back and forth excuses? But let's get down to the truth. That age old excuse, I'm not ready.
Well, if you know, that's what you are here for. You are here, you know, these are some very important questions that you need to ask yourself. Who am I and why am I here? You know, are you here to just work and make money and go about your daily lives? No, you here for a whole lot of reasons, and you way more important than that. And when you start to peel back those onions and ask yourself those questions, then you start to move in a direction where you start to find purpose and fulfillment in your life and step outside of those traditional ways that you think people want you to act or want you to pursue to consider yourself successful. So finding your purpose and figuring out who you are and aligning yourself with something that you enjoy and using that gift or that talent to serve a greater purpose to help other people is the road to a successful entrepreneur.
So when you're feeling like I'm just not ready, the key is take action, just getting started. I can remember when I was trying to figure out after finishing school that I wanted to start a business. I didn't know exactly what, but what I did is I bought one of those composition books. It's bound. You could get it from a dollar store. And I started to write my ideas down every day or quotes or things that I saw. I would just write them down. And it was that taking action that gave me more confidence every day that I can do this. I didn't know what, but I can do this. And that was important. Another excuse is I don't have enough money.
Well, taking action is really important. And taking action doesn't necessarily mean to go out and run and buy a business. Taking action is, first of all, realizing that you have to take action. And if you're not taking action, why are you not taking action? What is the story that you're telling yourself, or what is the influences around you that is preventing you from taking action? Because a lot of times it's the people around you. A lot of times it's the people that is closest to you. And we're on this journey to grow and to learn and to evolve and to be the best that we can be and to enjoy our lives and to be around good people. But a lot of times we stay stagnated because of peer pressure. We stay stagnated because of things that we deal with internally. So I give kudos to anybody to start to take action when it comes to being an entrepreneur. And the first thing that I think that is important to take action about is to realize what it is that you have a passion for and learn how to pursue those type of things that you enjoy, because that is going to be the key to your success and how you attract abundance in your life.
But what about that excuse, I don't have enough money?
Well, I mean, what do you mean you don't have enough money? Money is really not, and I'm gonna say this. My definition of a successful entrepreneur when I was younger was, I want to give me a business and make enough money to fly around the world and do anything that I want to do. That was my definition, or that is how I saw success. And through the process of becoming an entrepreneur, my definitions of what success is change. Success is a journey. It is not what you have accomplished, that's a part of it. But who you have become is the key, because you don't get out of life what you want. You get out of life what you are. And what you are is what you think, what you feel, what you believe, what your personality is, what you react to. And if you reacting to negative situations and circumstances and things of that nature, then you're going to attract that in your life. If you is focusing on positivity and feeling good and being happy, and then that's what you're going to get in your life, because we are not just transmitters of energy, but we are receivers of energy as well. So that's the reason why I go all the way back to being aware of your state of consciousness. When you start off on this journey, you want to make sure that you find something that you enjoy. If you look at all of the great athletes, they're not doing it because, oh, I got to get up and go play tennis or basketball. Those guys and ladies and men been doing that ever since that they was younger, and they would do it for free. And so it's not the money is gonna come. The reality and what you attract is gonna come as a result of the love and the joy and the pleasure that you get out of doing whatever it is that you're doing. And then on top of that, when you're able to use that passion to serve a greater good that's bigger than yourself, then you in line with a power that is greater than, that is like outside of time. And that's another thing that we're going to talk about, that I enjoy talking about, is time.
So when you think about not having enough money, because we hear it takes money to make money, perhaps you have to start small. Start with what you have. So if you decide that you want to start a business, start saving. If you could save $10 a paycheck, or $20 a month, or $100 a month, something, start to save. Or if you get tax refunds, this tax refund season, save your tax refund. There could be a way where you can actually start small in that business, be it an interior design business, or a trucking business, or at least a transportation business. You may want to start small.
Well, then you have to also ask yourself, how much money do I want to make? What is my definition of a successful entrepreneur? I have friends who spend a lot of time with helping the youth. In fact, we have a client who did a 401. I mean, she's a nonprofit, and they built this huge facility for people to come in, young kids to come in and have a good time and learn and things of that nature. And is a nonprofit organization. And yes, she get a salary, and yep, they make money or whatever. But that is an entrepreneur. If you go out and help uh, put people bag up their groceries, or and you making some extra money on the side, then that is also being an entrepreneur. And this is the thing that you have to realize. In being an entrepreneur, you may have a job. It's okay to have a job and be an entrepreneur. But as long as your bills can be paid and as long as you're making a decent living, if you're doing something that is making money and making a difference that you enjoy doing, that is being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, so here's a good one. Here's another one that I hear often. I might fail. Well, as we know, failure is a part of success. And have you ever heard, ever tried, ever failed, no matter, try again, fail better? Samuel Beckett said that.
Well, I would look at it like this. You only get one life, right? And one of the worst feelings I think that you can have is when you get to the end of your journey and you have the ability to look back and say, I wish I could, I would, I should have. You can't experience a more deep depth of failure than that. So just because you don't succeed in your attempt doesn't mean that you fail. It just means that you've learned what you need not to do. When Thomas Edison and his assistant was in the laboratory and they was working on different things, trying different things out, he was like, okay, Mr. Edison, we on our 700th try. And he was like, yeah, we 700 tries closer to finding the answer to the question, to the solution. So failure is a part of success. And I really don't like to say failure because in the good, there's the as yet negative. And in the negative, there's the as yet positive. One cannot exist without the other. You have to have one in order to gauge where you are in between the two. So in your attempt, when you talk about trying something and you don't succeed, when the not succeeding is just a measurement, is a tool, is a weight that you need to realize that's going to help you be stronger. It's going to help you be more creative. It's going to help you tap into your presence in a way where the answers to the solutions will eventually come and you become a greater you.
Thank you for that. So another common excuse is, what if people judge me or they criticize me? We all think about that.
Yeah, people are people, and everybody have their way of looking at life, and everybody have their own personal journeys that they have experienced. But this is the key, and this is very important. You can look at the bottle as if it's half empty, or you can look at the bottle as if it's half full. Now, the difference is if you look at it in a negative way, then that's what you're going to continue to attract. But if you look at it in the positive way, then that's what you're going to continue to attract. So when you being judged and you being judged by people who have so many different issues for whatever reason, you can't you can't let that be your measuring tool in terms of how you feel about yourself. So it's very important to be able to be a strong, independent thinker. It's very important to be rooted and grounded in how you feel about yourself. And it's very important to be able to understand that there's a lot of people out there that got a lot of issues and got a lot of insecurities and have a lot of fears. And a lot of times you allow those people to impose that energy on you and they end up stagnating you, because if you are a eagle and you hanging around pigeons, then you're going to be doing what the pigeons is doing. But if you realize who you are as an eagle, and there's nothing wrong with a pigeon. I'm not saying nothing is wrong with a pigeon. I'm not saying nothing is wrong with an ego. But if you're born to be an eagle, you're going to act like an eagle, and you're going to grow like an eagle, and you're going to act as if an eagle, and you're going to expand and grow as an eagle. And that is how you reach your full potential.
So reality, people are too busy thinking about themselves. So just do it anyway. The best time is now. Another excuse is, what if customers don't show up? Now, I'm sure when we first started DetailXperts, we considered that. What if we couldn't find any customers?
Well, I can tell you a personal experience I had when it comes to not having customers. And it was very humiliating, but it was very liberating. I remember, one of my first entrepreneur ventures was when the Tigers won the World Series. I'm like, ooh, well, next time they go back into the season, I'm going to buy some balloons with Bless You Boys on there, and I'm going to go downtown with my cart, and I'm going to sell all these balloons, and we're going to be happy, and everybody's going to buy these Tiger balloons. Well, I spent the whole summer buying balloons and sticks and machines and carts and all of this kind of stuff. And when opening day came, I took off work and went down there, and I didn't even realize how I looked like the Little Rascals. The cart was falling over, the wheels was crooked. I couldn't find a place to park and get my stuff out. People was looking at me like I was crazy. And I think I bought like 1,000 balloons, right? And I'm out there, and my cart is tilted to the side. I got a few balloons in my hand. I think some people wanted to help me, and people are just walking by, and I'm like, 3 balloons for $1, and I think I sold 1 balloon, and the reason why I sold that 1 balloon because I thought somebody was just feeling sorry for me. But at the end of the day, this is what happened, and I had bought thousands of balloons, and I packed up my stuff, put it in my car. And then I worked the afternoon shift, and I went home, and I was in the bed, and I was looking at this program that was called What Makes the Great Great? What Makes the Great Great? And it was Sugar Ray Leonard on there, and I was half asleep. And Sugar Ray Leonard says, what makes the great great is when people believe in themselves when nobody else believes in themselves. And I sat straight up in the bed. My wheels started back turning. And to make a long story short, those same balloons, I was able to go out to the fireworks. I was able to go to the zoo. I was able to go to carnivals. And I got the reputation as being a balloon man. Now, did I make a lot of money? No, I didn't make a lot of money. But the experience in itself, and the fact that I was able to overcome rejection, and the fact that I didn't have a lot of money and I was able to recuperate my investment, is a testament to where I am now and why I'm able to overcome those obstacles and succeed in the business world, not just as a person, but as a husband, as a brother, as an uncle. I exude all of that confidence and that energy into my life around me. And it's festive, and it helps other people as well.
Now, with DetailXperts, we've been in business 23 years. So think of it, 23 years later, we've been running a successful business because we've had many successful present moments. So if we had waited for the right time, we wouldn't be here now. Okay, let's talk about the cost of waiting. When you put things off, why is this so bad for pursuing your passion?
Well, I go back to, why are you waiting? What is it that is holding you back? What is the voices? What is the stories that you're telling yourself that's holding you back? And there was this guy who got captured on this pirate ship, and they had him in a basement, and they had him tied up, and the captain came in, and they said, in the morning, we're going to come down and we're going to execute you. And you only have one choice. If you leave off this ship, and you go through this one particular door, then that's the only way that you can get out of here. If not, by the time we come back, we're going to execute you. So when they came back that next morning he was still there. And then shots rung out. He was executed. And one of the guys asked the captain, he said, what is on the other side of that door? And the captain said, freedom. But most people will settle for living in a known hell than an unknown liberation. And so when you talk about procrastinating, there's still some work that you need to do on yourself to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, to step outside the comfort zone so that you can be a better you, because that's what life is required in life in order to grow. And that's why we're here to grow.
Yeah, and another cost of waiting is you lose your drive, you lose the momentum that you need to push that idea forward and to put it into action. And you may look up and you're 53 years old and you're deciding that, oh, I wish I had started 30 years ago or 20 years ago or 10 years ago. So you really lose that momentum.
And I tell you this, at the end of the day, and I can just speak for myself, you know, I can look back and say, when it's time for me to make my transition, I'm gonna have a smile on my face and I'm gonna say, I did it my way. And that means more than anything, any amount of money that you can make.
Yeah, if you wait too long, someone could take your idea and run with it. Then you'd be thinking, oh, I had that idea, but somebody else ran with it.
So they did it their way. They took your way and did it their way.
Yeah, the biggest regret that people have isn't what they did, it's what they didn't do.
Yeah, that is what they go to bed and wake up thinking about. You know, they're not thinking about what they did, they're thinking about what they didn't do. And that is a recipe for disaster, because you miss your blessing. You miss the present moment. You so focused on the future, or you're so focused on the past that you don't enjoy now. And, you know, a lot of times we spend all of our time, and when we talk about time, you know, time is an illusion. It's not real, because if it was real, whoever discovered time, they will be on the front of every cover everywhere. But I still have not found anybody to discover that have discovered time. And if you find somebody that discovered time, please let me know, because I would like to meet them. But the time that we're talking about is detrimental in that it's psychological. You know, focusing on something that happened in the past, carrying the pain from the past over and over and reliving it over and over again is self-suffering. You self-sabotaging yourself. You might think whoever did whatever it is to you is the one that's making you feel this way, but that's not true. You making yourself feel this way because you constantly replaying those stories in your head over and over again, and you miss out on life. Or you're afraid of the future. You're afraid what might happen. What if I did this? What if, and you playing those stories over and over in your head, and you creating self-suffering. So you're in between a rock and a hard place. You're in between a story, a sad story that you're telling, or a scary story you're telling yourself from the past, and a scary story that you're telling yourself for the future. And none of it is really happening. Your body is subjective. People have panic attacks in a comfortable home under the fireplace, having a good time, and they just totally have a panic attack because their body go into that fight or flight mode. And so the key thing is plan for the future, but do it in the now. And doing it in the now is doing it from a place of feeling good, of enjoyment, of enthusiasm. And once you make those plans, stay focused and don't think about what the negative is, or don't think about the fear of the future. You just take one step at a time, be present, have a plan. And that is the difference between psychological time, which creates self-suffering, and clock time, using things for practical purposes, doing what we need to do. But once we do it with the best of our ability, and do it with a sense of presence And then don't focus on the negative, focus on the positive.
So the best time is now.
The best time is like right now, because this is all we have and this is all there is, because there is no tomorrow. Tomorrow hasn't came. Where's tomorrow? The past is gone. So what's happening right now?
Yeah, another cost of waiting is your fear, self-doubt, and financial angst just keeps getting bigger. You spend too long thinking about the worst case scenario. Paralysis, analysis paralysis.
Yeah. I mean, that is, you get out of life what you are. And you are going to keep recreating. People will be like, how do I keep end up in bad relationships? Or how do I keep ending up with this type of person? Well, it's because change comes from the inside out as opposed to the outside in. So you say, well, how do you change from the inside out? Well, there's another dimension to who we are that is more powerful than what we think. And that is the awareness of what we're thinking about. When we become aware of what we are thinking about, we realize that those thoughts are an illusion. We realize that those thoughts are entrapped in time and in our mind. But we are the awareness. And to be able to bring that dimension into our lives and to realize that I am that boogeyman in the closet that I am afraid of, that I've been afraid of all these years, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go in that closet and I'm gonna open up the door. Why? Because I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And guess what? When you go and open that door and you realize that there was no boogeyman in that closet, the first thing you're gonna say is, oh my goodness, I've spent all of these years being afraid, running, hiding, creating this misery in my life, to realize that there is no boogeyman in that closet. That's your liberation. That's your ability to rise above to that next level and to get the things that you deserve in your life that you deserve based on who you are. You're no longer that little scary person. You're no longer that insecure person that think what my friends might say, or I'm always worrying about what somebody might think of me or whatever. You transmuted that. You on another level of light. And a lot of times I ask people, I say, well, what happens to the dark when you turn on the light? What happened to the dark when you turn on the light? You don't even realize it's gone. Well, the light is still the dark. The dark is still a part of the light. You just can see so clear. You ain't even focusing on that no more. That is not your reality anymore. So you transmute. And as a result of that, you, as a physical being, as a emitter of energy and a transmitter of energy and a receiver of energy, your whole world changes. New people come in your life and you reap the reward. And that's what it's all about. That's what our secret sauce is. We, as Detail Expert, have went through so many ups and downs that we're here to share our secret sauces to your liberation, because it's really not about what you do. That's just a little bitty piece of it. It is the how and the why. And when you focus on that, that forces you to go deeper into who you are, to address those areas in your life that you've been afraid of. And once you acknowledge that, then the boogeyman in the closet, you realize there ain't no boogeyman in the closet, and that's your liberation and that's your freedom.
So getting started, that's where your superpower lie. You gain confidence through experience. That's where it is.
Yes, it's your superpower, but this is another piece of it. And I'm gonna use this word. It's like a death, right? It's the death of the old you. See, there was this guy who had a dog, and this dog was at this house, and the guy came over, and his dog was laying in front of the fireplace, moaning and groaning. And he said, hey, man, come here, man. What's wrong with your dog? The guy walked in there, and he said, oh, he just laying on a nail. He said, well, how come he just won't get up? He said it ain't hurting bad enough. So what I'm saying is that a lot of times, what we have to become liberated from is those delusional thoughts and emotions and experiences and reactions that we've experienced over our lives that got us in bondage. And I guarantee you, there is another dimension to who you are. Once that dimension comes into that awareness and become aware, you're like, wait a minute, ain't nothing here. And that is your liberation. If Christ had not carried the cross, he would not have been able to wear the crown. And that is all of our journey.
So when you're out there making things happen, opportunities present themselves, people, things show up. So doors start to open just because you have gotten started, that you took that first step.
And that first step has to be the next first step. And the next first. You can't just take one step and sit back and say, okay, I took the step. No, it don't work like that. Great, you took the first step. That's great. Gives you more energy, help you be stronger. But you have to take the next step and the next step and the next step. And each step requires a sense of quality. And a lot of times when we lose ourselves in the future, in the fears of the past, and the pain of the past and the fears of the future, that one, you lose that quality one step and you lose yourself in that. So that next step has to come from a place of love and joy and peace and stay focused. And then the next step. And then the next thing you know, life will unfold in a way where abundance will flow in your life in a way where you never really experienced or you thought that it could happen.
Yeah, I remember back in 2006 when we were deciding to start a franchise and we actually took a second mortgage out on our house. You can get into a loop of self-doubt or financial fear that comes with using your savings, in this case, our house, to start a business. It's totally understandable, but there is ways for you to overcome this.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as a person, risk is a part of the process. When you run from risk, then you stagnate in your life. And it don't necessarily have to be to go out and get a job. It could be, I'm going to join an organization. I'm going to go join a Toastmaster organization. I'm going to join, do something that's going to better myself, that's going to help better myself. So when you is not willing to take risk in your life becomes stagnated. And that is very, very important to understand.
So it's really understanding what's that next smallest step that you can take today, now.
Oh, absolutely. Because when we decided to mortgage our home and take all of this money out to be a franchisor, not a franchisee, but a franchisor, and step into that, we had developed a certain amount of muscles already. We've been business owners. We've been, doing a lot of things in our life that has been developing. And it's funny because when you look back on your life as a kid, you can start to make those connections as an adult to say, wow, this was something that I enjoyed as a kid, but now this is something that I am making a living doing. But the only way that you're going to start to have those type of realizations is that you have to step out and you have to take risk, and risk is okay. And, as long as you continue to have another source of income to take care of yourself, to take care of your basic livelihood, you can take risks, you can step out there. But at a certain point, Angela and we were like, okay, we're going to make a big risk. And the bigger the risk was, the bigger the reward. That tipped the scale for us to take us to another whole level of financial gain.
So the next easiest step could be make a phone call, write down your ideas, buy a domain name for your business. Any of those could be the next smallest step, but you need to challenge yourself. So in the next 24 hours, take that first step, write it down, put it on a calendar, because when there's a deadline, it's real.
Absolutely. And when you say trust, that you got to trust life. You got to trust is an interesting word, because it's non-conceptual and intangible. It's like, okay, what am I going to trust? I'm going to trust the process. Well, how do you trust the process? You trust the process by stepping out into a area in your life that you don't know about, that is unknown. And you become that next level person. And I tell you, Angela and I, we struggled a long time where we wanted to hire people, but we was kind of like, well, if we hire them, we want to make sure we can pay them, and we're going to make sure that, you know, the business is going to come in. And, you know, we messed around with that for many, many years. I think we had 2 or 3 employees. Well, we have hundreds of employees now. And I say to myself, well, what is the difference between then? I'm the same person physically, but what is the difference between how I was thinking then when I was afraid to hire 1 or 2 people to now where it don't matter how many people, I'm looking for people to hire. What is the difference? And the difference is the resistance. I'm not afraid. The difference is, it's like, and that's what trust is stepping out there to grow. And that's why I say trust is really interesting, because life works in your favor when you align your purpose and your passion and you step out and you do the right thing and you do it with a sense of love and peace, and you have integrity and you have core values. When you mix all of that good stuff in a pot and you step out, you trust that life is going to work in your favor, and you start to see the synchronicities. You start to see the people and the places and the things started coming and happening. And then the next thing you know, how did I get here? Well, I trust life. And I can't conceptualize it. The only thing I can do is actualize it and be it, and just keep being it, and just keep being it over and over again, because it just keeps working. That's what I trust.
Another next smallest steps could be tell someone, say it out loud. Instantly, when you share your goal, you become accountable.
Yeah, but you got to be careful about who you talk with and share, especially when you're at a real timid growth stage. You know, you can talk to people that could really crush you, or you could talk to people that can really uplift you and liberate you. So you can't tell everybody your dreams, because you got people out there that's looking to tear your dreams down because they miserable. But you got to be careful about that. And as you continue to grow, you will start to see how you will life, or you can say God, or however you want to say it, will trust in life, will start to bring and manifest the type of people that you want in your life, that is going to help take you to the next level. And it's so funny, because you would think that the people that's around you, that you've known for a long time, your family members, will be those people that you want to bring with you. A lot of times they're not willing to go. They're not, I'm not going to say they're not willing to go. They're just not capable because of their mentality. Poverty is it don't matter how much money you have. Poverty is a mentality.
Well, then tell yourself in the mirror, but you definitely should say it out loud. That's important. That makes accountability, and you're more likely to follow through just because you said it out loud. So I want you to think about this, Emmanuel. Your future self, you're 53, you'll be 54 in October. What would you say to your future self now?
I would tell my future self to be here now and enjoy the road of what you desire is already prepped for you. The only thing that you have to do is plug in the right way and enjoy the ride and enjoy the journey. Don't worry about what may or may not happen. Just have trust that if you do things from a place of presence, where there is a sense of joy and there is enthusiasm and there is a process and there is integrity, and you find something that serves a greater good that's bigger than yourself, and you find something that you enjoy, then plug into it, enjoy it, realize the growth process, and just become more of who you are. Live on purpose.
All right. No more excuses. We challenge you. Take action today, because the best time is
The best time is
now. So, Emmanuel, I want you to talk a little bit about what you want to hear, because the best time is now, on the action that's going to be taken.
On the action that's going to be taken in regards to what?
That next smallest action.
Okay, the next smallest action. The first thing that you want to do is be rooted in gratitude. That's simple. And it feels good. That's the first thing that you want to do. You want to look around and you want to see all of the things that you bless, that while you're blessed. You want to look at your health. You want to look at, don't focus on just the one thing that you want, that you feel like you need to have, or you're not feeling good. Focus on all of that. Focus on all of the good things. That's number one. Number two, write down what it is that you want. Write down what it is that you enjoy. You already know it. You already know what you enjoy. That's something that you already know. And then write down, okay, what are some ways that I can utilize it to help other people and generate some capital?
That's number three.
That's number three. You know, how can I use this? Don't focus on trying to be a millionaire and all that. Don't, that's too far away. Focus on, how can I use this to help other people, serve humanity, help other people, and make the world a better place, and generate some money at the same time? Because what you're doing now is you're trusting the process. You plug it in, you taking your awareness and you plug it into life. You plug it into infinite intelligence. You plug it into infinite joy. You plug it into infinite peace and love and abundance. It's already here. It's already there. What is already there? Just act as if you already have it, and plug into it in a way where you utilizing your awareness and your presence and integrity. Plug into it, trust the process, make a plan, and take a step, and then go from there. But once you take that first step, praise yourself. But then you got to take another step and the next step. And you want to do it from a place of peace and joy, because you have a primary purpose and a secondary purpose. Your primary purpose is to connect to your divinity. Your primary purpose is to connect to that infinite intelligence of love and abundance. Your secondary purpose is to utilize that, allow that to flow through you into what you do to serve a greater good that's bigger than yourself. And when you start trusting that process, there is abundance in everything that you could ever want 10 times over, based on what you could even ever imagine, will start to unfold. Trust that. You can call it God, that's fine. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but trust that process and stay focused.
So we want our listeners to tell us about it. Message us, tag us, drop a comment. We want to hear what you're starting today, because the best time is now. So let's take a quick poll. What's the biggest reason for putting things off? Fear, money, time, self-doubt, or other? So don't forget to check out our socials, because we will continue this conversation about time. Okay, it looks like we're running out of time today for this episode of More Details, Please, but time well spent. So we talked about why the best time is now, to take the next step, to grow, to move forward, get started. The best time is now. No more waiting for the perfect moment, because we've learned over the years, success isn't about timing. It's about action.
Well, in closing, I would like to add that, we said a lot about the now. We said a lot about time. We said a lot about psychological time. We said a lot about clock time. But I want to give you an example of what the now looks like. I want to give you an example of what the present moment looked like, because it's intangible and it's non-conceptual, but we've all experienced it. And when you look at athletes and they go into a zone, you take the Kobe Bryants and the Michael Jordan, they live for the now. You know why? Time stop. What they do, they enjoy so much. And they go into a zone and they start doing things that nobody ever dreamed another person could do. And they live for that moment. When you're in the kitchen cooking for your kids, and this is something that you enjoy doing, and you go in there and that's the now. You go in there, time stop. And the reason why I say time stop is because your mind stop. You stop thinking and you do something from a place of joy and love. And this is documented, that there are people that was put in emergency situations and circumstances, and they did certain things that after it was over with, they couldn't even remember what they did. That is the now. But guess what? What we're trying to express to our listening audience is, you don't have to try to climb a mountain or play basketball or be in an emergency situation to connect into the present moment. You can consciously go into it, because that is a part of your purpose, and that is a part of your destiny, and that is where you're going to find all of the treasures of life.
Because what we've learned over the years is success isn't about timing, it's about action, going for it. So as always, we want to hear from you. What's one thing you've been putting off that you're ready to take action on? Let us know on social media or email us. So until next time, I'm Angela.
And Emmanuel Williams.
More details, please.
Thank you for listening to More Details, Please, presented by Emmanuel and Angela Williams from DetailXperts, the mobile steam cleaning company dedicated to protecting the planet. Be sure to subscribe to More Details, Please on your favorite podcast platform. You can also follow us on Facebook at DetailXperts and visit DetailXperts.net. That's DetailXperts.net. We hope you've gained some valuable insights from our conversations today. Stay driven by curiosity, and we'll bring you more details next time.